I get it scrolling through endless listings. You see a sleek bike trainer that promises road-like feel and pro-grade power. But when you finally set it up in your apartment, the chain feels sloppy. The resistance is all over the place, and you wonder why you even spent the cash. That frustration is real, and it's why I'm doing this deep dive before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In the next few minutes, I'll walk through what the Wahoo Fitness KICKR Bike Pro actually does in a lived-in environment, who will get the most mileage out of it, and who might be better off looking elsewhere. First off, the indoor trainer market is crowded. You've got smart rollers, basic spin bikes, and the high-end bike-in-a-box rigs that try to replace a real road bike. The biggest decision point is whether you need a machine that feels like you're on the road versus something that just lets you spin a few miles while watching TV. The KICKR Bike Pro positions itself firmly in the first camp. It's the third generation of Wahoo's flagship, built to mimic the physics of a real bike rather than just offering a stationary pedaling experience. The setup experience is where many users hit a snag with other brands. Some trainers require a separate frame, a separate bike, and a maze of cables that can take an hour to get right. With the KICKR Bike Pro, you get an all-in-one frame that folds for storage, a carbon-styled crankset, and a built-in power meter. In practice, you pull the bike out, lock the front wheel into the dropout, adjust the seat and handlebars, and you're ready to pair. The intuitive control system walks you through the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections on the screen that pops up when you power it on, so you're not left guessing which button activates the ANT+ signal. That simplicity saves a lot of time for people who don't want to become electricians just to train. Now let's talk power. Wahoo lists a max power output that rivals many road frames. It can handle up to 2,000 watts for short bursts, which is more than enough for sprint intervals or those occasional Z-power tests. In real use, I've logged 500-watt intervals on a steep climb simulation without the unit throttling or overheating. That means the bike can keep up with serious cyclists who need to push past the 300-watt plateau they hit on cheaper trainers. If you're a triathlete who does brick sessions at home, this capacity lets you simulate the fatigue you'd feel after a swim and a bike segment, keeping your training specific. Connectivity is another arena where the KICKR Bike Pro shines. The built-in Wi-Fi handles the high-speed data stream to Zwift, Trainer Road, and the Sufferfest without the lag you sometimes get on Bluetooth-only units. I've run a 30-minute Zwift race while my phone was streaming a podcast over Bluetooth, and the power data stayed smooth, with no noticeable dropouts. That reliability matters when you're in the middle of a group ride and the app decides whether you're staying with the pack or getting dropped. The trainer also talks to smart devices via ANT+, so you can attach a heart rate strap or a cadence sensor without extra dongles. Strengths aside, there are some practical trade-offs you need to know before you spend a premium price. The first is size. Even though it folds, the footprint is about the size of a full-sized bike, which means you'll need at least a dedicated corner or a spare room. If you live in a studio apartment, you'll have to be comfortable with a semi-permanent fixture or be ready to disassemble the bike weekly. Second, the price point lands well above the $1,000 mark, so you're essentially buying a high-end indoor bike rather than a trainer add-on. For someone who already has a road bike and just wants occasional indoor sessions, that cost can feel steep compared to a budget smart trainer that still gives decent power readings. Another nuance is the ride feel. Wahoo markets the bike as having a serious road feel, and that's accurate if you appreciate the slightly heavier flywheel and the calibrated resistance that mimics road gradients. However, the feel isn't identical to a real bike on pavement. You won't get the micro variations from road texture, and the front wheel is fixed so you can't practice cornering. If you're a cyclist who trains primarily for technical handling, the KICKR Bike Pro won't replace on-road skill work. It's a superb engine for power, cadence, and endurance, but it won't teach you how to lean into a turn. Who should buy? If you're a competitive road cyclist, a serious triathlete, or a coach who needs a reliable platform for data-driven workouts, the KICKR Bike Pro checks almost every box. The high power ceiling, stable Wi-Fi, and integrated power meter make it a solid foundation for structured training plans. It also works well for families where multiple riders share one machine. The seat and handle adjustments are quick, and the bike's weight capacity comfortably supports larger riders. On the flip side, if you're a casual rider who just wants